Michael Batiste from the Elk County Academy. Welcome back to the Hunt Expo here in Utah. We are day 3. I am sitting down with my good buddy Steve Chappel. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Michael. Good to be with you this morning.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, we were saying like a decade.
A decade since you and I have spent time together, and so we got a lot of catching up to do.
Absolutely.
So you just kind of launched a kind of a new program. So YouTube and also on TV. Kind of touch on that a little bit. What do you got going?
Yeah, so it's called Elk Camp, Michael, and it's kind of been a work in progress for the past 20 years when I really think about it. But it started out being DVDs, the Extreme Bulls DVD series, and as we both know, DVDs kind of fell by the wayside. It kind of went to digital, and so I decided that I was either, I was at the edge of the cliff. I was either going to jump off or I was going to back off, and I decided to jump off and launch this TV show. So we aired it for 1 season, and looking forward to season 2 here coming up in July. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, it's a perfect fit with Chappel Guide Service, and I mean, I know you guys shoot some little bulls down in your area, but it's good quality content. There's a lot of sarcasm on that little bulls. So you guys put some incredible bulls on the ground. So, as Elk County's kind of evolved over the last few years, kind of what are some of the changes that you've kind of seen?
Yeah. We've kind of seen it go from just people going out and having a great experience as a family, and being out there with their friends, and the experience being the first thing about the hunt that people enjoy, to almost more of a competitive nature, with trophies being the end game more so than the experience, I think. And I'd like to see it get back to a little bit more of that just genuine love for the experience and love for the game, so to speak, love for the hunt. The reason I do it is for the close interaction with elk. That's what separates elk to me from any other animal, is just the vocal nature of them, and the fact that you can use calls and have those close, meaningful interactions with them, whether they're big or small. It's just awesome to me.
And that's one thing, you hit the nail on the head. It used to be, a few years back, when somebody harvested something, especially with a bow, man, they posted that picture proudly. But today's landscape is they post the picture and it's either, what does he score? Or, well, he's not the biggest on the mountain, but it's almost like they're a little ashamed of it. And the other thing that I've kind of seen is, I'm with you. I got into archery to see how close I could get. But it seems like there's kind of this new wave coming in that wants to take those extremely long shots, and their argument is, do you understand the level of skill that it takes to execute that shot? And I'm not taking that away from anybody.
Sure.
But what about the amount of skill that it takes to get that animal to 4 yards?
Yeah.
What's kind of your feeling or thoughts on that?
Yeah, to me, again, the way I like to play the game, I like to play it on my terms, and that is when I take an elk, I like to set up and call them to me, and I like to call them into top pin range. I don't even want to have to guess or worry about range finding or knowing how far away that bull is. I want to set up to where when he comes in, I've got my top pin on him, and I know it's going to be a money shot. As we both know, when you're taking long shots, that animal can take a step before that arrow gets there. They can react to the sound of the string. Elk are a very hardy, resilient animal. They're very hard to kill even at close range. And I realize ethics-wise, everybody's got their distance, everybody's got their limitations. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest target shooter in the world, so that's part of why I basically need 1 pin on my bow. But it's the way I like to play the game too.
And I'm right there with you. I've shot a single pin for years, and I set that single pin slider at 30 yards. I just kind of do Kentucky windage for 20 or 40. But in all the elk that I've taken, I think my average shot is 22 yards.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
And Phelps and I were talking about this, Jason and I were talking about this the other day, that when you're elk hunting, and the whole deal about getting them close is removing as many of those variables that we can't control. The animal taking a step like you touched at. And yeah, I would just love to see more people, because I mean, that excitement of having that bull at 10 yards or that cow and calf right next to you. You know, I remember one year we were getting so close to the elk, and my hunting partner goes, "Man, we're getting so close, we're gonna get peed on." And in our next setup, I started calling you. You just hear like, yeah, 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 and I'm like, okay, here comes a calf. You can just hear her barreling down, and she stops right next to me. And this is back when I was wearing the old leafy wear, and she's nibbling on those leaves, and I can hear my hunting partner over there, you know, snickering because he's waiting for this cow to pee.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's because we kind of talked about that when we were walking over. When we were first into this, it was sitting around the campfire with the older generation listening to stories.
Yeah.
And we learn from some of those stories. That doesn't take place nowadays.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, Michael, is we didn't have phones back then.
Yes.
There were the phones, you were on a cord and they were in the house and you dialed them like this or pushed a button. There was no such thing as a mobile phone.
And if your friend had more than 1 0 in their number, you didn't call them very often.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a lot of it, is that we just didn't have the distractions that we have now. So it was just, you know, very genuine, and you know, it was just all about the relationships with the people that you were with. So
now, you've been in the call game for a while. How have you kind of seen materials and calls in general just kind of advance?
Yeah, I mean, the first huge advancement to me in the call industry was Rocky Jacobson with the pallet plate.
The raised angle pallet plate.
Absolutely. That was a game changer. I know for me that I struggled for years with just those regular standard reeds that were out at the time. I never felt like I had good tone quality. I always felt like I struggled to make quality sounds and to be consistent, you know. And I still remember when I first got my hands on that first pallet plate reed, probably in '96, I would say, 95, 96. Yeah, it was just a game changer for me.
Wow, yeah. No, and that helps so many people eliminate that gag reflex and open up the possibilities, you know, to people that didn't have the option. You know, we still have those individuals that have the gag reflex or, you know, allergic to latex. So there's still some of those variables, and I know there's a few companies kind of playing with some new materials to get away from the latex, which is kind of exciting. But as far as tone quality, have you kind of seen kind of a change in the landscape of diaphragm reeds and what you can do on them?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. You know, I remember just seemingly being pretty flat on diaphragms back in the day. Now you can just really hit those higher tones with, you know, the various latex thicknesses, the stretches that they put on them. Yeah, it's just amazing the elk language that you can cover with one mouth reed. It's incredible. And as far as grunt tubes, we've seen a huge change in those too, from just, you know, vacuum hoses looking things, which I still probably have one laying around in the closet somewhere.
I do.
To these newer ones that look, you know, a little more like a wiffle ball bat, if you will, but they have really three-dimensional sound, and they create great back pressure, which gives you, you know, that deep barrel-chested sound. You know, again, it doesn't come from us. It's a lot in the tube design.
Well, I mean, we're trying to emulate an animal whose lungs are twice the size of ours, whose esophagus is twice the size of ours, their chest is much deeper, so, you know, we've got to cheat a little bit to kind of match those tones. But the thing that really amazes me is what you can do on some of these reeds nowadays with a single light latex.
Yeah.
Because in the days of old, if you wanted to get that real screamer, you had to go to a triple reed that, man, you almost passed out when you were done calling on it.
Air pressure required.
But God, what they're able to do now, and now I know, you know, you've had a signature series line with Rocky for a little while now, and you guys just kind of went through and revamped that line a little bit.
Yeah. We put all of the calls on a one-piece aluminum frame is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
One-piece aluminum frame. We went to a golden tone plate is what it's called. Yeah, we've got three new ones. They're called the Tines Up, the Elk Camp, and the Royal Point is what we've got. And yeah, I used them all of last fall, and extremely happy with the tonal quality, durability. Yeah, again, to me, I'm not a gimmick kind of guy.
Right.
So even though I think they have great catchy names, it's just a lot of marketing.
It's marketing.
Part of it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, a person's going to judge a call by how it sounds.
Right.
And I'm just super pleased with the tonal quality. I've been working with Rocky and Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls for, I think this is 9 years now. And yeah, just couldn't be more happy working with those guys. I think they're top notch, and they come up with great products.
Great people. I enjoyed the 10 plus years that I spent with Rocky. You guys that are tuning in, that you're live, if you have any questions for Steve, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section. We'll see if we can put them on the hot seat here during this. Now, with your reeds, you have 3 different reeds. Is there kind of specific colors or tones that you were kind of wanting to achieve out of each of those?
Yeah, with the elk camp reed, it's more of my cow call specific reed. It has kind of that medium, full 3-dimensional sound that I really like, use for cow calling. If you push the call a little more, add a little bit more tongue pressure, you can get it into those more excited type sounds. And then I also use that for that extra scream sound that I do, just implementing my vocal cords into
that buzz into
call.
Yep.
Exactly. The Royal Point is more of a tighter single latex, so it's got a little higher pitch.
Okay.
You can use it for cow calling, but it's a little higher tone than I like for cow calling, but it's very sweet for high-pitched bugling.
Nice.
I mean, you can just rip off those aggressive, high-tone bugles that just really make bulls react and respond. And then, of course, it's great for chuckling as well. And then the last one, the Tines Up, is actually a cut double reed. So it's not a true double reed. It's got a cut second reed. It gives it backbone and spine. So when you bugle on it, it's got some real backbone, so it doesn't blow out on you. Again, you can hit those real high, strong notes. It's a call you can go out and bugle on 100 times a day, and it's not going to blow out.
It's not going to blow out. It's going to have a little longevity.
Exactly. A lot of guys like to cow call on it too. It's kind of a utility call. A lot of people say it's their favorite overall call, but I really like it for bugling.
Now, with that double reed with the Y notch, do you find on the cow sounds it kind of gives that little deeper, older cow sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's got that little more husky, a little more mature sound to it.
Focus on that lead cow so you can confuse the bull and think the lead cow's over here, and Dave and I need to go over. Mama's telling me I need to go to that room in the house. So, what with the popularity of elk hunting growing, I've talked about this a few times. We're hearing that numbers are kind of falling because the baby boomers are starting to phase out. But Steven Rinella is doing such a fantastic job of the light that he's shedding on hunting, plus the respect for animals, that I'm starting to see that millennials really are getting into hunting because they want to control where that food's coming from. With these new people coming in, what advice would you give to a new elk hunter starting?
Oh, I would just say, again, not to place the success on your hunt on notching a tag necessarily, especially in the beginning. For me, I always feel like it's a win if I just go out there, if I have an interaction with an elk.
Right.
That to me is success. Whether I put an arrow through that animal or not, just playing that game that I love to play with the calls. And
I'm right there with you.
It's kind of a chess match.
Yeah.
And what I would say to him, encourage him, is learn to call and practice and perfect the craft, if you will, because that will change your entire success and mindset in hunting. When you have success with calling, it will change your life if you call in your first elk. I'm telling you.
And that's the hardest thing, the definition of success. Because I have a lot of people that ask me, hey, define a successful hunt. And it's like you said, it's not always that notch tag. It's the interaction, it's the journey. In fact, a couple of years ago, I was on a turkey hunt with my daughter. Midday, we dropped the tailgate, we were eating a snack, and I said, what keeps bringing you back out here? And she goes, Dad, seeing that sliver of light over the horizon and hearing the forest come alive in the morning is what I absolutely love. And I'm like, this 13-year-old girl gets it. She gets it. And I think there's so many adults that, you touched on, it's kind of that race to success. It's that social media acceptance, the likes, the comments, and all that. My favorite quote of all time is Fred Bear. a hunt based solely on trophies falls far short of what the ultimate goal should be. And I really think if more people focused on that they would truly enjoy hunting a lot more.
Agreed. You hit that perfectly.
So, any last closing thoughts?
Oh man, it's just great to be here with you. This expo is an awesome place to be this time of year. Helps me cure my elk hunter's depression, EHD. And if anybody's here at the expo and wants to talk elk, Michael and I would both love to talk with you. I'm going to be at the Rocky Mountain, at the Black Ovis booth actually, on behalf of Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. I don't know the booth number, but it's Black Ovis.
Black Ovis. You just look for the Black Ovis banners if you guys are here. Stop by, say hi to Steve. If you're
1 p.m.
Because you guys have the poster signing
at 1 p.m. Yes.
But in the meantime, if you want to swing by, if you're interested in the diaphragm reeds, the Steve Chappel signature series at Rocky Mountain, certainly go by, check them out. They are available in archery shops. You can always go online. So, Steve, appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael.
Let's not make it another decade before we get to do this again, okay?
Sounds good, brother.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Okay, let me shut this off. Thanks, guys.